Last story we're going to talk about today, just a quick video game thing that applies to how authors can treat their audiences. The executives of EA, which is a big video game publisher, make a critical assumption about Dragon Age Veilguard. So this is a video game that came out several months ago. Dragon Age is a long-running series. It has several installments in it. I actually played the crap out of Dragon Age Inquisition. Um, but then Veilguard came out, and there was so much associated with it. It didn't look fun, and the story was weird. It had a lot of woke elements included with it. But what's really interesting is what EA said about the failure of Dragon Age Veilguard, because it failed to meet targets. And what they said was the nerds in the cave would always show up for an RPG because it was an RPG. Now, and they said BioWare fans would eat whatever slop they were given. And that kind of attitude
It's
just
very
doesn't
common amongst
fly.
authors. It's very common though. It's like, hey, it's I found so for beginning authors, they don't have this view, but successful authors, especially in genre fiction, often grow to hate their own fans. And that's a really toxic attitude. It's not universal, but it is a risk. And it leads to these kinds of big failures and flameouts like what we're seeing with EA. You know, AAA gaming is really struggling. AAA gaming is actually going through a lot of the same problems that traditional publishing is going through, and
Yeah.
for a lot of the same reasons. Their cost structure is too high and they're too woke, for lack of a better phrase. Like most people in the publishing world, almost all literary agents are Democrats. Almost all pub board members are Democrats. The editors are Democrats. The marketing people are Democrats. The executives are Democrats. In fact, it's so pervasive that I've heard of people getting fired just because it was released that they donated to a Republican, or if somebody heard that they voted for Trump, whether they did or not, and that was just the rumor was enough to get them fired. And so you have this very left-leaning traditional publishing apparatus that has really pushed out conservative voices and is not listening to conservative
Right.
readers. And that's a big chunk, right? If you want your book to be appealing to more than half the population, you have to be able to make it appealing to conservatives. Now, you don't for a book. Books can be very successful in really narrow niches, but for video games and for films, it has to be able to appeal across party lines in most
Right.
cases, especially if it's a AAA game, because AAA games can have bigger budgets than blockbuster movies. You know, typical Marvel movies like $300 million. That's not an uncommon budget for a AAA video game. In fact, some video games have four, five, $600 budgets. $600 million budgets, which is more than what Marvel will spend even on an Avengers film. And so they have to be appealing to a broad part of the market, and they have stopped listening to half of that market, and
Right.
they despise them in their deep down. In fact, they hate people on the right more than they love money, which is a big realization. It's not universally true, but I've noticed that in a lot of these entertainment companies, they hate the right more than they love money. And once you understand that, it explains a lot of the decision making that they do, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense, because it seems like they're leaving money on the table. And
Get
go ahead.
kind of getting away from treating it as a left versus right thing, because this is more a matter of time, because the right has done this as well. This is more as what I look at as a crusade mentality. When you're on a crusade, only your point of view is right. It's the only moral one, and you're allowed to do anything you want to win the crusade.
God wills it.
That's exactly what I was thinking, because you can
History
justify
is
it.
watching, right? That's how the left would frame it, right? History has its eye
Yeah,
on
be
you.
on the right side of history is what was said often. And that's just as it's the same thing as saying God wills it. I mean, I was in an organization that used tons of slogans. I mean, I know a slogan when I
The
hear it.
Marines have slogans?
Oh,
What?
so many slogans.
I thought y'all just had acronyms.
Oh, the Kool-Aid is so good. But I mean, our acronyms are actually slogans. BAMSIS. You know, if everybody who's in the Marine Corps knows exactly what I just said. But when you're on a crusade, you don't listen to anyone else, especially the people that are supposed to be appreciating you. And that's where that hatred comes from, because you will, I mean, this is still a creative act. I mean, you're creating a video game, you're creating a story, and whether we call it woke or not, it's still a story. I mean, liberalism has been present in video games for forever. The first Assassin's Creed games were liberal games. I mean, they had the diversity disclaimer on there from the very first game, and those were great games. I loved playing those games. They were great stories, and so it's still possible to create something good when you're coming from a viewpoint I don't necessarily come from. But it's when you ignore and then outright attack everyone else or who you perceive as your enemies. And then when you come at it with this attitude too, oh, we're going to attack the people we don't like so we can feel good about the moral case that we're making. But then also the people that are going to buy our game, yeah, you were supposed to buy it.
It's taking it for granted. It's taking customers for granted, taking
Yeah.
readers for granted. Just because readers read the last 6 of your books in your series, it doesn't mean that they owe you to read the next book in your series. And if you have the attitude of, I need to win your attention every time, I need to thrill you every time, you will be very prosperous. And if you have an attitude of, you owe me, you must buy my book because of who I am, I'm the elite author and you're the lowly reader.
Right.
You've got to fight that. That pride will lead to your destruction.
I mean, when you're looking at stories that have authors in them, you know, they're about authors or whatever, the ones you like the most are the ones that are actually losing their stomach linings because they're like, I don't have anything left to give. I don't know what to create now. I don't know what I can't do what I used to. And I respect those people so much because they're still trying. They want to do the beauty of the art to create this story that will touch people emotionally, reach them in the pain that they are in, and be able to create something beautiful by either helping them through that pain, explain it to them, or provide some kind of relief. But you got the people
puts it really. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
that you got the kind of people that are just like bread for the masses. You know, take it, you peasants. Take my slop, you peasants, because you are peasants. That is not a sympathetic position ever. And if you ever fall, if you ever need help, there will be no help.
So Doug puts it well, and I want to end with this because we're out of time. If you're an Obscure No More student, we'll be moving over to the Obscure No More office hours immediately after this. But Doug says they don't follow your your customer, love your reader commandment. So yeah, at the very least, don't hate your reader.
Like you'd think that would be like, it wouldn't have to be a commandment, right?
This is the first of the book marketing 10 commandments, which is one of my more important episodes I've ever done. The very first commandment is love thy reader, right? If you don't love your reader, none of the rest of it will work. You won't write a book they want to read. You won't market to them in a way that they can hear. Like, you have to love your reader. And that requires you to die to yourself a little bit. It means you have to write the kind of book they want to read. Because if they don't want to read it, they're not going to buy it, and if they don't buy it, they're not going to read it. Right? Like this seems axiomatic, but a lot of authors are like, no, I want to write the book I want to write. It's like, okay, well then write in your journal. It's like,
exactly.
if you want to write for the market, you have to write for the market. And now, loving your reader sometimes means telling your reader harsh truths or presenting your reader with viewpoints that they've not heard before, right? So it doesn't mean just tickling their ears. That's not what I'm saying, but it does mean that you have to have in your heart actual love for actual human beings that are going to read your book.
I'm a Marine Corps sergeant. My entire brand is built around telling people things they don't want to hear because I care about them and I want them to be successful. All right. I have people who come to me, give me their books and say, and are ready for me to yell at them. They're like braced, thinking I'm going to yell at them because that's what I do. I don't yell at people, but you know, what I do is provide feedback to help people to be successful because that's what we're looking for. If you want your reader to be successful, that will come across in your writing. You know, if you want to give them that relief, give them that smile, give them that information that they need, give them just the escape, you know, which I call relief. People call it escape. That doesn't work because you're not getting away. I think it's relief. And you're just getting the weight off for a little bit. And that's so important to give people because, I mean, I've worked in environments where the stress is unbelievable. You know, we're at war and my guys are listening to the worst possible things imaginable. But you know what? In between cuts, they can kick their feet up with a novel for a little bit, disappear into it, and they just get the weight off for a second. So that kind of thing is so important. And if you keep that in your mind while you're writing, while you're marketing. I don't understand people that are like, I don't like to market my book. Then no one needs it? No one needs your book?
I think it's because deep down they don't believe the book is good enough to be worth marketing.
Those people make me angry. I'm sorry. I know people
Keep
who
working
need your
on the
book.
book until you want to market it. You're
I
so
know-
convinced it's good that you want to tell people about it.
I know guys who are, one bad night away from swallowing gun in the morning. Okay?
This is so getting demonetized.
Ugh,
Me talking
I'm sorry,
about that-
Thomas. I
about
was
the
always
Supreme
gonna
Court ruling
I was always
earlier.
gonna do this to you. But I know
Please
these
become a patron,
guys,
everyone.
and they need your book. They need your book. Quit making your excuses. Learn how to do this, and then have some daggone confidence in your freaking book. Okay, I'm done ranting.